Hi everyone, I'm Airier, and today we're going to be looking at 2 more Puffin Forest shirts. The first one is something I don't know. D&D story discussion on dice, books, and, this is the part I don't know, Chessex match, or Chessex mats. One of those was a mispronunciation, and I'm afraid it might be the first one. Because, well, let's just be honest. At this point, I kind of just assumed the dirtiest option is the usual accurate one, and I'm not always wrong. I know pretty guardians out there like, we know, dear. You do. And she decided to marry me, too. How that happened, I still have no idea. Yeah. And the next one will be VidCon vacation vlog, which, if it's anything like the other vlogs where he talks about going to different conventions, I'm actually really looking forward to, because just seeing how he interacts in the real world, but then he animates it down, is honestly kind of amazing in my opinion, because they're just so innovative to see his personality and how much he's just, it's like a down-to-earth kind of guy, at least how he appears in his videos. And then it's just like, in the last video, he was like, oh my god, you're a fan! Don't hurt me! And I might have lost it a bit at that, because that amuses me a lot. I can English a lot. Let's go with that one. Yes, it amuses me a lot. I can say that word apparently. Don't you just love it when English decides not to English? So yeah, we're just going to jump right in. If you haven't already, links below, original videos. Make sure to hit him up because it's Puffin Forest. He's awesome. Do that. Let's get started.
Hello everyone. I got this new video out. This one is a little unusual than my normal thing that I tend to make. What I tried doing on this one is I got a bunch of my artist friends together, and we decided, hey, let's.
Oh, are they all going to draw for it?
Like together, like one thing. So I'm going to be doing the audio and kind of storyboarding.
Well, this will be fun.
And doing a bit of the art, and they're going to be making some art, and so we're going to put it all together.
It'll look like a horrible mess, and it'll be amazing all the way through.
We'll see
also,
how
I like the mic he has.
See if it turns out well. So it's a little bit of an experiment. So
oh yeah, because he was a chemistry
cool. Maybe not,
student and then actual did chemistry.
Anyway, that's it. On to the video. Enjoy.
I wonder how that's going to work.
When people are writing to me, they're asking me how to run the game. Either it's their first time or they're having a problem and they want to know how to fix it.
Blow it up, kill everyone.
Me, but I get it, because learning how to run Dungeons & Dragons from the rulebook can be like learning how to write from the dictionary. It's a reference manual mostly.
I don't even want to think about someone having to learn how to write that way.
You know, practice.
Tips?
Practice makes perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, but
practice makes murder.
If I was going to point anywhere, I'd probably point towards modules, which they help you understand encounter design and story structure. That being said, in my own homebrew games, I don't use a lot of modules. Even though I got a bunch of them. Most of the times when I buy them, they just kind of go onto the shelf, and I'm like, yeah,
art pieces.
Can't wait to read this when I get a chance that's going to be coming up. You and me, we're going to be a team going off on an adventure.
Nope.
And it stays on that shelf, and
forever.
I completely, totally forget about it. Usually when I'm looking at modules,
I didn't put a little smiley
I'm going
face on
for
it, then just start
inspiration.
weeping.
So, you know, something that it gives me like an interesting plot line or some kind of unique map. I think my favorite book when I run is the Monster Manual. There's just so much lore and stuff in there to get the imagination going.
Oh, because you would see the image of it, and you can. Yeah.
And it has
is that
this big, thick background of like where its skulls are.
That's the Thanos glove.
And lore, and you know, you can just take even just small chunks of that, and there could be entire narratives spun around those details. I also like to think about what monsters and races would work well together. Like how the cult of Tiamat is often made of these priests and knights, but also kobolds and drakes, and there's might be a head dragon running it. Every DM has their own style when it comes to miniatures and accessories. Personally, I don't use figurines, other than the paper ones, because the figurines tend to be a little bit pricey, and then you have to paint them, and it's so tough to find the correct ones when you need it.
As a 40K guy, I would probably just use those because I have them.
I won't remember, I'll just forget, and I'll just use something else as a substitute, and then the next day I'll be like, oh, wait, there's the Dwarf Fighter minis. Like, I probably should have pulled those out. When I run encounters, I just use a wood pog with a number on it so the players can see it across the table and be like, I'm shooting at number 4. Instead of, that one on the left. No, the other. Nope. My left. Yeah, that. No. Okay. Yes, that one.
Yeah, that would get annoying fast.
Be easier on the players. There's a limited amount of information in the scene that people can
I gotta ask,
at one
are
time.
they drinking or are the characters drinking?
People keep forgetting where they are, or I forget, and they have to remind me. Although I ran Call of Cthulhu for years without one, and that was fine. Seemed fine. Although
Call of Cthulhu is easy to remember.
A lot more important than it is in Call of Cthulhu, because you have to see who's where for the abilities and magic. So But anyway, it's up to you. You can work either way. I remember we used to have a bunch of these set dungeon tiles that we'd use with printed images on them. They're very detailed and really, really nice and very cool.
It's kind of like what they do for
but it led to the rooms to feel kind of samey because you keep running out of them. And
so you have to just use what you got, and then you can only use so many.
And
so
it
often,
also led to some very interesting situations.
Who made a dick
with
first?
This town and their cults. This is like the 5th ancient pentagram of evil we've been through. They really need to get their reins on it. I needed a big room. We only got 3. One was a snake pit. The other one was used. So I just had to use this one. Personally, I don't use a DM screen. Not anything against them. It's just that since I don't have a set of figurines to hide, it's usually not a problem. But I do keep.
Oh, that's what the screen's for. I didn't completely not know that.
See the map. Also, I often end up moving other people's pieces because they're back at the other end of the table. So it helps to not have something between me and the board.
Oh,
I
distance.
find that if I use a DM screen, I have to stand up to look over it because it's a sight block. It prevents you from looking at sheets or looking at the characters.
And then you just feel like you're staring at them
in my
menacingly.
Videos, I will often draw myself with a DM screen, but that's just for convenience sake. That's just so that you can say like, oh, it's Ben. He's GMing. The way that I track initiative, I just draw the table and write the numbers that people roll down and just look to that player when it's their turn.
Like a dry erase board would be really useful.
There's different players when it comes to dice. There's some players who buy a set or two and then call it a day. Then there's the dragons, sleeping on a massive pile of dice at night. I'm a dragon. These aren't for me. These are for my players.
I have the same problem.
I swear.
Magic player for years. Got a lot. No, you don't. You dare give them out.
I keep having to make up excuses
had the same reaction,
for why I need
ironically.
more dice, because obviously I can't use all the dice that I have.
Blasphemy!
I have to buy more.
Yes,
to keep
that is the correct answer.
To have them.
Honestly, this isn't even a joke. He's just making a valid point.
What if I need to roll like 37 d6s? Really?
It could happen.
What if I ran a game for
I've played 40K. It's a thing that happens.
Players, and they all
frequently
needed several sets? And then accidentally broke them, and then I have to buy replacements so that way they'd have them.
You do realize the second you don't have them, you will need
sets
them.
Of dice, wouldn't I? I like to keep my dice at my workstation next to me so that I can roll when I'm bored. When I went to Comic-Con, my favorite booth for me was Chessex, which was littered with dice everywhere. I went back there several times to pick up sets. Every dice needs a home. From them, I got
I'm having dice envy,
which I really like. They are D4s. 8-sided D4s. I like them because they tend to roll a bit better and are easier to pick up than the pyramid dice. And then I have these two.
Yeah.
So that way the players can see
D20s. I only have one
table.
random one. The rest are all countdowns.
I have a black die from the Captain Morgan Black Spice Rum that I often use to represent.
That's where they got Captain Morgan.
Or one boss. One time when I dumped out a bunch of my dice onto the table, I actually had one of my players who was very impulsive who just immediately spent time sorting all of them. Just why? Just because they're
Bit of OCD there.
And then they got upset when they noticed that one of them was missing. You did this to yourself. This is all on you. When I ran for Adventures League, I had a table of very young players in high school who had just gotten into D&D.
Dude.
I overheard that they didn't have books, so I secretly went out to buy 7 copies of the Player's Handbook.
Damn!
The next time we met up, I brought them in. I thought it was going to be like, wow, you're giving this to us? Oh yeah, these old things? I need to get them out of my house because they've been around for forever. You're giving each of us a Player's Handbook? Wow, you're a super
You do realize
awesome
if
person.
this joke, it's going to go
Really
horribly.
cute. The lengths that I go to try and impress my younger players is truly staggering.
On the other hand, that makes him a really good
Turns out that didn't
GM.
happen. Apparently, they all had Player's Handbooks and I misheard. What they were missing was the Monsters Manual, so I pretended like I had an extra copy with me and gave it to them, and then immediately bought another. But yeah, that's why I have several copies of the PHP that I've been trying to give away. When
I volunteer.
Started, we had a Chessex mat, which we'd use in a lot of our games.
What is a Chessex
mat?
mat?
Very long until the mat got destroyed. Usually when we'd play, the DM would be prepping the next part of the adventure. He'd hand one of us players a mat and a printout of the dungeon and say, copy this map onto that mat. It was my turn to copy it.
See, what's a
So I went
Chessex
off
mat?
to the corner to write it down, but I didn't know which pen to use, so I decided to be responsible and test the marker out. I took the dry erase pen and made a little doodle on it, then wiped it with my hand. It came off clean, so I thought, okay, Chessex mat's okay with dry erase. And I drew the dungeon with a dry erase pen. Besides, it's dry erase. You don't need anything to erase it. It's erases.
This is not going to work, is it?
It's easier to, you get it. We played out the game, and it was a great session. Then the DM tried to erase the dungeon, and it wouldn't come off. What we discovered
Get alcohol?
is that if you put a dry erase markers onto a Chessex mat, it is erasable for a short time. But the dry erase markers will slowly bond to it over time and become permanent. But I wasn't going to let that stop me. No, sir. I took it home.
He went over and paid everything, didn't he?
See what would work. Hand soap.
Oh, yeah.
No. Ammonia.
Fire?
No.
Fireworks? It will get rid of anything.
40?
Like the rest of the map.
Vinegar? No. Bleach? That's really tough. No.
That's a
I was
surprise.
slowly working my way up to more and more corrosive materials until I was just gonna have to accept that I'd tried every single
buy a
chemical
new one at this
in
point.
the house. I came into the living room. I was like, okay, I'm done. I tried everything.
Did you try
Done.
water?
It is not coming off. Well, you haven't tried quite everything.
What?
My dad said. You haven't tried this stuff yet.
Oh, no.
And he goes over to his drawer and he hands me this old metal spray can, which it was so old and rusted that the label was unreadable. We use these on cars. It'll get the job done. I took the can, didn't know what it was, sprayed it on a section of map, and wiped. It worked. Too well. Boring a hole through the top tan level of the map and down to the
figured.
lower white sheet underneath. But what I saw was that the black mark was in the lower white sheet. The pen had soaked through the tan layer on top and onto the white layer
Okay,
below.
now that's actually
And
impressive.
at that point, I knew it was a lost cause.
You might actually be better off just writing everything.
And brought it to the next game session. Since then, I've remembered what pens to use and have not made the same mistake twice.
3 times then, right? All right, so my dad's a mechanic, and while I'm not going to name the certain chemical I think that was that he sprayed, considering all the things he had used on it previously, that was a little... Yeah. Not a good idea. I mean, it's not as bad as Skydrome. Yeah. Okay. That could have been the end of Puffin Forest right there if that had gone like I thought it could. And, yeah, that was dangerous. That said, it bonded below to the actual white center of the map. I was kind of joking when I said he'd probably just take the marker and put it on everything and just get a white marker out on top of that for the next ones, because at that point it might be easier. Or just buy one like he did in the end. That would work too. But damn. And God, all those dice. All those dice. It's kind of like at the comic shop I go to sometimes when we play Magic around this area. Yeah, Magic the Gathering. Huge fan, yeah. I suck. I'm horrible, but I love playing it. I just get my ass kicked all the time. This one guy, or actually a few guys now, have these really heavy metal dice, and one of them just brought in these new dice, like gold outlines around the edges, and on the numbers, and everything else is like this deep, dark onyx that shines. And it's so damn beautiful. And I'm just looking at this going, dice envy. Massive dice envy. And this video is just really hammering it home because all those dice. I don't get what the entire bit about the dragon was, because like him having all the dice and all the needs for it, it's like, yeah, no, that's kind of nonsense. In the sense that why wouldn't it make perfect sense? Nonsense, you wouldn't need that. Of course you would. Anyone who gets dice realizes you need more. What is enough dice? That is the state, like, what is enough DACA? No. No, you need more. And the second you think you have enough, you won't have the one you need. It's just how things go. That's just science. And he was a chemistry major, so he must have realized it. Also, he was a functioning chemist, so that too. I was an English major, so I'm great at BSing my way through nothing. I especially emphasize the nothing part there. Next up, we have the vacation vlog for VidCon. I've never been there because it's in California. No. Granted, if I ever visited family, I might be able to get away with it. Yeah. And I'm sure my family would love to get rid of me once I said, oh, yeah, I could leave for the day. I was like, yes, thank God. Yeah, this right now, this personality, that's not an act. I'm toning it down for YouTube. I'm worse in person. Let's get started.
Hello, what's up, everyone? So I'm just here talking about a really fun trip I just had when I drove up to VidCon in Anaheim.
Oh, so he's from Los Angeles.
YouTubers. I went for a few days and stayed in an Airbnb with a bunch of other online creators.
How does that work anyways?
Joe Cat, Dingo, and the Dan Plan crew.
What?
Most of you are probably familiar with Dingo, who makes Storytime, life and D&D animations.
Yeah,
and
people
Joe
really
Cat,
want me to hit up Dingo
who makes Monster
really
Hunter,
bad.
Crap Guide to D&D series.
Seen a bit of
Our
his.
Dan Plan, which our audiences kind of don't overlap that much, but that's okay.
Might want to check it
If you
out.
aren't familiar with Dan Plan, they're a comedy group that make videos on improv scenario humor. I guess that's the best way to describe them. Go check
I'm
their
actually a
stuff
fan of
out.
that kind of
They're
humor.
pretty cool. We stayed together in a cozy townhouse. I roomed with Joe Cat, while Dan Plan had their own four-person bunks.
They had
Since I'm
bunk
from Southern
beds.
California, I had a car and could pick them up, that was pretty cool.
Really? Just
I got to drive them around
my-
and show them all the magical wonders.
something about Puffin Forest
LA.
looking cool on the
We
top of a
got
car.
to see LAX airport several times, as I accidentally turned down the wrong lane and kept going back through the same terminal.
Oh, and then there's a
Thank you for that,
traffic.
and welcome to California. Outside you'll see the
Note
wonderful
the,
Lower Bay, and
cop
on
in the
the
background?
left you can see what's probably a drug deal going down. Overhead you can hear a police chopper probably chasing down some criminal on the run.
Yep, sounds like LA. I have family
And
down there.
behind
This is
there's a car
accurate.
Which may or may not be stolen.
Oh, it's
I don't know
definitely
why
stolen.
People say that SoCal is a barren wasteland. Look at that, a thriving plant over there. No, wait, no, that's the dead one. Oh, what about that one?
I mean, surprised you
Nope,
even
never
had a dead
mind,
one.
That's also dead. Look over there. That's almost like 3 trees. Where would you find that many trees in one place?
In
I think
SoCal,
2
very
of
few
them
places
might even
actually.
still be alive. Our first day there, we went to an animator beach day. Got to
What?
talk to a lot of new people. But it's funny how our group showed up to the beach and we were just like, whoop, as we skittered around the major group in our own socially awkward bubble. Thank you to the people who approached us to talk. You have more courage than me.
Oh
Well,
god,
at the
just
beach,
the
we got
look
to
on
swim in the
Dingo's
water
face, like,
for like almost a minute before they skittered away. It's cold. Yeah.
it's the
like
ocean.
Really, really cold. Yeah,
It's
that's
the
beach in
ocean.
California. It's not very warm. We went to panels.
I've
at
been more to
VidCon.
the ocean on
They
the
brought in experts to talk
northern
about their
California,
experiences.
like,
A few of the panels I
California.
went to were pretty cool.
Massachusetts side.
Others were,
It's even colder.
but overall, it was fun. Draw with Jazza had a great panel on vlogging.
Whoa.
His
That's the
tutorial
best
panel was
image
head
you
and
took.
shoulders better than a lot of other panels I went to.
Ooh.
You can definitely tell that this is a guy who makes tutorials for a living. The cliff notes for him was, 1, when you make a vlog, try to do everything on the phone using
What?
software like Adobe Rush. You can clip the video, add frames, add music, basically a lot of the stuff that you'd expect to do on a computer. You can do it all on the phone and it saves you time. 2,
Oh.
keep the momentum up and make sure not to waste the audience's time.
I'm not
3,
taking notes on
make
this.
sure to turn
Just gonna
on
have
the
to
volume
remember this.
adjustment, that way the audio is all level. And he went through his different techniques.
Leveling
Shipwrecked
audio, that's
Comedy had a
fun.
panel on making videos on a budget. A few points on their advice was, 1, a lot of the filming budget gets eaten by the locations. Try to film in fewer locations to save money. 2,
Pure?
sometimes you can get clothes and props from resale shops.
Oh,
They'll
yep,
beat
makes
up,
sense.
but in a lot of scenes you kind of want clothes and props that look worn or old. 3, if you can't offer the people who work on the project more money, you can offer them flexibility. Like, if someone normally has a going rate, they will often have downtime between projects and working on a low-paying job.
And
is
if they're not
better
doing
than
anything else, it
having
makes sense.
no
They would
job.
take it up.
While we were at VidCon, we were a little bored, so we ended up playing a game, and the loser was going to have to go up to someone and randomly talk to them. I was the one who lost, which meant I had to introduce myself
no,
to
who
a
do you
random group.
Say
I
it's
spent about
Markiplier.
5 minutes just typing myself up. You got this. You don't got this.
He's a lot
We
braver
got
than me
this.
because I would not
This
succeed.
is a terrible idea.
If anyone
No,
ever
it's gonna
comes up
be
to me and I
fine.
freeze
No,
up,
it's
I'm
not
having a
fine.
panic attack and I might be
And finally,
dead.
Panicking inside, I slowly shuffled
Yeah,
my way
this makes sense.
up and over to a random group. When I was walking past, I noticed that one of the guys was shuffling some cards, which
Ooh.
were in sleeves, and went into a deck box. Yes, a talking point. I play Magic too. Hey, is
What
that
kind of
Magic the
deck?
Gathering?
What?
Nope,
What?
it's Yu-Gi-Oh. I really should have left right there.
You should have.
But
He
instead,
plays
I just
Yu-Gi-Oh! Flee.
Stood hanging out with them.
Cards look awesome. I
Didn't
love the
really
art,
have
but
anything to say about Yu-Gi-Oh.
no, nothing about it.
They continued talking like I wasn't there for like a minute or 2.
Just try
and I
again,
just
man.
awkwardly, without saying anything, just quietly left and just went back to my table. People are scary.
Yeah, like that's a nightmare right there.
I just took some
That's one
time
of my
to
nightmares.
recover from being mentally
Pretty Guardians
scarred.
too.
There's a few people who recognized us, and we introduced ourselves. It's pretty cool meeting some fans out there in the wild. You're Dan Plan. I'm a huge fan.
Really? I love you.
Can you
I got
sign my
creepy
thing?
fast.
You think he's joking when he says that. I assure you, he's not.
Oh,
Later on, we
God.
went out for Korean barbecue.
Ooh,
my first time
that
having
stuff.
it.
I would love to try that.
It's like
Small intestine.
small intestine.
Wait, that's Dingo?
At the
Oh,
end of VidCon,
is
we
that
took a trip
Puffin?
to Disneyland. Disneyland was shockingly fun.
Also, they'd be shorter.
I have not
Probably
been
because he
there
draws
since I was a
himself
kid,
shorter.
It was great getting to see it all again with
Also, he's
friends,
sitting down, so it
hanging
doesn't
out
count.
with all these wonderful people. The group clicked together in like 10 minutes when we first met up at the airport, and from then on, it was smooth sailing the entire trip. This is probably one of the top 3 most fun vacations I have ever had. Before we left for home, I managed to sneak in a game of D&D with the Dan Plan crew at 2 a.m.
Oh, what
the
would we
morning
give to
before
read?
we were supposed to fly out.
Did they actually record what they did?
Was some of the worst rolling I have ever seen in any group.
Oh, so they're not showing.
They could not roll above an 8 for the longest time. It was a lot of fun. They were great players. Many of the really
that is
famous people at
terrifying.
VidCon couldn't walk around the floor because
That's a D20,
otherwise a
isn't
crowd
it?
that size would be considered a fire hazard. No, I want to be super popular too and not be allowed to do things. Why can't I be a featured talent?
Kind of surprised he isn't at this
Just
point.
give it till next year, buddy. You too can be a fire hazard.
Really? You mean it?
No, really.
Oh my
we could all be a
God.
fire hazard next year.
Yeah.
That face is creepy. It's like, we'll be a fire hazard. No. No. As far as punishments for losing a game go, being forced to have to go talk to random people for 5 minutes, that's... Yeah, Puffin, you actually did it. I mean, you didn't succeed, but you tried, and that's massive respect, man. I would kind of have a panic attack. Freeze up. Maybe inadvertently plank without realizing it. What is planking? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I would find out when I fall over and just maybe snap in half like a board. Yeah. Sounds painful. Yeah. Honestly, though, just all the things that happened. I would love to see that game they played. Maybe they live streamed or video recorded somewhere. They had a little footage. Also, it's kind of cool how they put the faces on. I gotta ask, though, was that Dan they were showing next to Dingo, or was that Puffin? See, here's the thing. I haven't seen his face. So it's like, is this him? Is it him or someone else? Because now I'm like, okay, wait. What if I go to one of these events and I see that guy, and I think it's Puffin, I start talking about it, Puffin, and the entire time it's like, no, it's not. And I get the wrong person. I mean, that would be horrible. It's not like I did that last year at a convention when there was a guy signing autographs and I sent Pretty Guardian to the wrong person and just kept assuming he was someone else for 5 minutes. Yeah, not proud about that. There was a bunch of guys from Seven Deadly Sins and a whole host of other animes. She wanted to go get a signed copy of the guy who did Tuxedo Mask. I put her in the line for the guy who did a bunch of the voices from Seven Deadly Sins. And while I love that show, she has no idea what it is. So the entire time, she's just listing off shows that she thought he was, and he wasn't. And at this point, I'm like, I'm just going to pretend I did this on purpose and I'm an asshole, because it's better than the fact that I completely don't know what his face looks like, just his voice, and I'm feeling like a giant ass right now. Oh, wait, I am. Yeah, that's literally a nightmare for me. And the fact that Puffin Forest really went up to other people and engaged a conversation, even when they played Yu-Gi-Oh! That's actually a lot of respect for him there. Very important question, though. He mentioned he plays Magic. What colors does he play? Very important. I have a feeling, though, considering his DM style, he's an Izzet player. Calling it now. Puffin Forest plays Izzet. You heard it here first, people. Unless he actually did say that already, in which case, well, you heard it there first, but we're going to ignore that. Yeah, I play everything but Izzet. I can't do counter magic to save my life. It's all the same. You guys know the deal. Link below, original video. Make sure to hit it up. I'll see you guys in the next one, when I make less of an ass of myself. Said nobody ever. Adios.